Welcome back, family. I wanted to shed some light on something that I came across the other day and what it reveals, and it has to do with a post about a show that almost everyone is familiar with, known as The Simpsons, one of the longest running shows in history. And this show in particular has been getting a lot of attention for its ability to allegedly predict the future. And it predicts things in a way that lets you see that whoever is writing this show knows something about the plan. And if you're unfamiliar with how psychic things work, it's not that they are prophets in any way, but they are using their understanding of a plan that these evil spirits have and revealing certain things based on the plan that these evil spirits have. That's why they don't come true all the time. And so if you know the plan, like these powers of darkness know, these demonic spirits know, you can give that information to someone. They can put it out in movies or cartoons and make it look like they know the future. They don't. They know the plan of the future. They know prophecy to some degree, but they cannot predict with certainty things that are going to happen. That's why they aren't just giving their own people lottery numbers and things, because they can only predict so much. And so what I wanted to talk about was this particular article that I came across where it was showing Marge Simpson next to an Egyptian deity of sorts. And it says here in the article that I found that archaeologists find a depiction of a Simpsons character on 3,000-year-old Egyptian mummy coffin. And so what's strange about this is quite a lot, but I want to break down some of the more obvious things. And first of all, if you look at this painting here that does look a lot like Marge Simpson, even down to the ears. If you look at those little ears that are very common to all the Simpson characters, it looks like someone we've talked about before. And it is that Egyptian goddess Hathor, which is everywhere. This isn't just in Egypt. Egypt has made its way to America. And so when you look at a lot of the Masonic structures and the temples out in Washington, D.C., they have this person, this figure, this goddess, which is basically what I believe a demon or a Nephilim at one point before she became a demon. This little character right here, look at the ears. You'll see that throughout a lot of the archaeological finds in Egypt. We've shown this particular goddess before when talking about this guy here, Master Yoda, who seems to talk in reverse like demons do. But those ears, these findings, of course, they're going to keep finding them because this is a very common deity of Egypt. And that's why you're seeing it in so many of the temples today, like the House of the Temple in DC. It has a lot of Egyptian themed deities right there on the front. I mean, right when you walk in, they don't hide this stuff. It's right there. But this particular deity, if you look at the painting that they have of this goddess Hathor right here, I'm sure that's who this is. They don't say that's who this is on here. Pretty sure that's who it is. And if you look at it, you'll see this is regular sized people right here worshiping this Nephilim, this pre-flood giant that would eventually become an unclean spirit. And if you have read the book of Revelation, you probably understand the fact that it's unclean spirits that are deceiving the kings of the earth in the final days before Armageddon. These unclean spirits like frogs deceiving the kings of the earth. And then when you look forward to after the millennial reign, it's not going to be deceiving the kings of the earth, but the nations are what's going to be deceived. And it's Satan, because there's that little season aspect. We've talked a lot about that. But right here, you see these people worshiping this Nephilim. My guess would be this is before the Clash of the Titans, before their punishment, before they were killed off, and before the flood. And so they're putting this stuff on stone. That's how it remained and was able to survive the flood. And people, of course, paying homage to these deities with their paintings. And so I'd hate to be this one right here. I really hope the Nephilim wore deodorant. Could you imagine the smell? This giant creature right here. But they are worshiping this creature, and understanding this type of relationship helps you understand how certain structures were built. We always say, they didn't have the technology or the cranes like we have today back then, but somehow they built structures that we could not build with today's technology. It's because they had help from creatures that were far larger than the people of today. And so, just to give you a scale of that, they have it in their painting, so you blow it up. You can see I've expanded this quite a bit just to give you a better look at how large this Nephilim would have been. And just like Genesis tells us, if you don't like the book of Enoch, it says there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Very common verse there. That's Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. And so that is something that shows you why the Simpsons can predict so accurately the future the way they do, is because they are inspired by these unclean spirits that are helping them put out their materials in ways that shows you their plan. Putting it in cartoons is a good way to just kind of laugh at the unbelievers, people who don't understand what the powers of darkness are capable of or where they come from. But they wouldn't build these shrines to them in modern day temples in America if they didn't have a reason. It's not because they like art. They call themselves Freemasons. Why do they call themselves that? There's that Masons aspect, because the things that were carved in stone survived the flood. You can read about that in Jubilees. It tells us exactly that. When the sons of Noah were going out, one of his sons found these writings in the stones that were left there by them. Those same secrets are kept today by secret societies that for generations have kept these dark secrets. They're not planning a surprise party. I've said that before. They're keeping secrets because their goal is to harm the Most High's people and to deceive them. We are living in a time of lying signs and wonders. And so, in order for those lying signs and wonders to work, we must not know what we live on, who we are, where we came from, and who our Creator is. And so we have to be vigilant in these last days and understand that the lying signs and wonders are not going to go away. They're going to play a huge part in upcoming deceptions. And so I wanted to just pass this along, this information, this insight, that I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm not wrong with this because it's obvious when this stuff surfaces. It's not just a coincidence like, oh no, look, it's just a coincidence that they happen to find this Simpsons character here, Marge Simpson, drawn onto the coffin of a mummy. They wrote out the truth right here. They didn't look at comic books and take them so seriously like we do now. They were looking at paintings, hieroglyphs, things that tell a story, the story of pre-flood giants. And so the stuff is not a fairy tale. It sounds like it is, but the truth is definitely more interesting than a lot of the fairy tales we grew up believing in. And this is just part of it. These creatures right here, these goddesses that they like to be known as, they're just unclean spirits. And at one time they were looked at as gods. But if you've read the Bible or you've read the book of Enoch, you understand what they are, where they come from, and why they are so set on going against the Most High in His creation, corrupting all flesh, just like their fathers did before them. That's why they are corrupting all flesh again. And I believe it's why the beloved Son tells us that in the last days it's going to be like the days of Noah. And we know with the days of Noah, they were corrupting all flesh. And so you see that clear as day. And I wanted to just bring this to light because it's important Those unclean spirits have a goal. They make it known in their fake book of the law, their counterfeit book of the law, where they talk about bringing the glory of the stars to the hearts of men. And you see them doing that with things like Star Wars, where they reincarnate their old deities, their old demonic spirits right here, coming to light with Master Yoda. This picture in the background you see right here, this is an old painting. This is not new. I didn't get this out of a comic book from Star Wars. This is very old, from the alleged Dark Ages, where you have Yoda right there before he resurfaced in modern day Hollywood. And so just understand that we are in a world that is essentially Babylon. That's why in Revelation it tells us to come out of Babylon. We can't come out of it if it isn't there. He's talking to everybody in the world. The entire world has essentially become like Egypt and like Babylon. He's calling us out. And if you remember, when people came out of Egypt, there was a wilderness period. I feel like we are in that wilderness period because we just finished the book of Jubilees, and it tells us that that wilderness period, that 40 years, the purpose of it was so that the people could learn the commandments. They could learn to walk the right way before he put them in the promised land. And we are very close to that promised land end of our journey. And it's awesome to be where we are, seeing what we're seeing. We are beyond blessed. And so remember, when you guys are coming out of Egypt and seeing the things you're seeing, doing away with the pagan practices and things and adopting the appointed times and all of that, remember that we need to look at what the people did when they left Egypt. They messed up many, many times. We need to be humble and understand that we can do the same if we don't understand the blessings we have. You literally have his people witnessing his hand at work, parting the Red Sea, setting them free, plaguing Pharaoh, doing all the things he did to set them free, being covered by his presence with the cloud by day, protecting them from the heat, giving them free food. And they still became ungrateful and messed up. So remember, even when you're being blessed, be thankful. Don't look back at the days of being in Egypt and think, oh, we had it better back then. We didn't. We were in bondage. We were in slavery, and we didn't even know it. We are a blessed generation, a blessed people. And so I wanted to pass this along to encourage you. I know I'm saying a lot and rambling on. I don't have a whole lot of time to share these things because we are traveling, but I wanted to take this time to give you a little bit of insight into what I believe is going on with this stuff and why programs like The Simpsons can do what they do. It's not because they are prophetic in any way. They know the plan. Just like Von Braun, Warner Von Braun, when he was writing his books about Mars and someone colonizing it, given the title Elon, he knew the plan and he was a part of that. However, I do believe at the end of his life, he started seeing the weight of what he was doing and tried to warn someone and told them to warn others. I could be wrong about that, but that's why I think the plan that he warned about has come true, except for that final deception being a threat from above, an alien threat. Why is that important? Why do we need this alien threat from above? Well, remember Revelation, unclean spirits like frogs deceiving the kings of the earth, getting them to war against God Almighty. Where is he coming from? Him and his beloved son? They're coming from above. Where are we going to meet the beloved son? In the air. Okay, the threat has to come from above. That's what these unclean spirits are preparing the kings of the earth to do, to make war against the Most High. It's going to happen twice. It's going to happen with Armageddon. It's going to happen with Gog and Magog. Both times it's the exact same threat. One time the threat's from above. The next time the threat is on the ground with that millennial kingdom. And so I believe we're getting prepared for that threat from above, which for us it's not going to be a threat. It is going to be where we unite. And so I am looking forward to uniting there. It is a major blessing. And so I wanted to hopefully encourage you guys in your walks as you're coming out of Egypt and you're coming out of Babylon to be prepared to unite. And for that, but understand we are up against these powers of darkness that are deceiving the world. So I'm blessed to be doing what I'm doing for a career now, and that has to do with Creation Standard. We've been getting a lot done. We have our first lesson actually uploaded, and it's ready to go out when things get started. We just have to do orientation and prepare some more lessons and just be ready for what's to come. It's going to be exciting. It's a lot of work, especially since we have people all around the world that are joining in. I'm hoping this can be something that is eventually free for everyone. For now, it's $1 a day. But again, if it can become free, that would really bless me and my wife, because she's having to keep track of everyone that's registered, giving them the codes and all of that. And if it's free, we don't have to worry about that. We can just send out codes to anyone who's interested. And of course, if people are coming because they're trolls and they're trying to attack what we're doing, we can just kick them out. But we want it to be free. That's my goal. So for those of you who have been supporting us, we thank you. For anyone that wants to support, you can do that at creationstandard.com. Just go to the very top and find the support button, and you click that. It'll take you to where you can support us. And if you're paying for classes on there, please make sure you put a note that it's paying for the classes for registration if you're paying early. We're going to start here in August. The countdown is getting scary because we are under 40 days. I looked at it today. It was like 39 days away. We're going to be starting. So I'm excited. I got a lot more work before me. Again, 4 classes. It's going to be something that is a challenge, but it is worth it. It's the most prestigious job I could have, bringing people closer to the Most High and understanding what we live on, who He is, how to pray, all these things. I want to incorporate that into this program known as Creation Standard. It's a major blessing. I couldn't be more overjoyed for a job. This is the most excited I've ever been. Yes, I'm nervous, but I am getting guidance beyond what I could ever receive for any other job. So I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for those of you who have supported us. Can't say that enough. Thank you so much. It is a major blessing, as it helps me just focus on the work at hand and not stress about losing everything. That's, of course, something that the enemy tried to scare me with when I was wanting to do this full time, was, the fact that you could just lose everything. You could just crash and burn. And that fear is not from our Father. He is guiding all of us right now. And so I am just honored and humbled to be a part of this. And I wanted to encourage those of you who are parents and you're trying to teach your children the truth. He is guiding us. Like it says in Isaiah chapter 40, He is guiding those of us that are with young. And I wanted to hopefully use this as encouragement, not to scare you into seeing how powerful these lies are and how these powers of darkness are doing what they're doing and how sinister it is. We're in a world of deception, of course, but the Father is going to win. We know that. So no matter how much predictive programming they have and things they throw at us, we are on the winning side, and that's the side we want you guys to be on. They want you to believe that this winning side doesn't exist, while also showing you all these things and about what they're doing and how they can predict the future, and that there's these things that they can give you, and the world and all the things they can offer you. These powers of darkness can offer you the world, but they cannot give you what the Most High can. He can give you something that isn't temporary, something beyond worldly pleasures. And if you've ever seen people that have gained the world, they are the most miserable people for a reason. They realize it's not that great. They've sold their soul. They've made some deal. They feel like they just can't undo what they've done. And they are the most depressed people out there. Look at their eyes. It's extremely sad the way they exist. But we all are blessed to understand that and understand that this world cannot offer us what the Most High can. And as someone who's been healed by Him and shown His great love and His great mercy, it is something beyond worldly comprehension. There is no pleasure of this earth, no drug, nothing that can do what His power can do, what His love, His Holy Spirit can do. It is phenomenal. It has changed my life. It's the reason I'm still here. Otherwise, I would have ended my life like I wanted to back then with all the hurt before He healed me. But He is far greater than I can explain in words. And so I thank you all for joining us on this journey. It has been something that is just a huge blessing. And everywhere I look, I am seeing His guidance. There are no coincidences like I used to think there are. Our Father is guiding us to the right place, to the right people, and it has just been a fun and a miraculous journey. And so I thank you all for being a part of it. We love you. The Father loves you. We'll be back soon as we have time to hang out and do some live videos. I'll be with George Newber pretty soon, looking at some of the science behind the lights in the sky moving above us, the eclipses and all of that. He has a lot of work he's been doing. He wants to share, so we'll be live with him in a few days or maybe a week or so. And we'll be looking at that and doing some other experiments while we're with him. He has some vacuum chambers. I want to do some things for Creation Standard and share that with you all as well, because I find the things like that fascinating, because it proves that the liars are just that. They're liars. They're telling us lies about what's above us and the existence beyond, when in reality we know there is a firmament. Genesis tells us that, and it keeps everything very simple so that when the sun returns, we're not going to be shocked like, oh my goodness, we thought there was a globe there. What is this firmament parting for? We understand what it is, what we live on, why every eye is going to see Him when He returns. So it all makes sense when you understand reality. So that's what Creation Standard is going to be about, pointing the Father's children back to reality. No matter what age they are, there's no age limit. You can be 90, 100, and still take part in some of our courses. So just wanted to share this with you guys because I thought it was helpful and will hopefully open your eyes to what's going on. But we love you. The Father loves you. And we will see you all around real soon.